Water. We depend on it and probably take it for granted.
We use it for lots of things, drinking, cooking, bathing, to name a few.
And it takes energy to heat it up.
And how you use that hot water can either save you money or waste it.
We're stopping energy and money from going down the drain.
Today on PowerHouse.
PowerHouse, presented by Alliant Energy.
Alliant Energy, we're on for you.
Let's face it, we use a lot of water.
And the more you use, the more you feel it in your wallet.
The cost of the energy starts right here.
The water heater.
The average water heater runs about 3 hours a day.
And depending on the size and style of heater, you can expect to spend several $100s a year, up to $1,000. Check out the Energy Guide label that shows you just how much it will cost to operate per year.
If you have an electric water heater, it can be the second biggest user of electricity in your home.
But there are many things you can do to lower the cost of heating your water with little to no investment.
You can start here, right on the water heater itself. Most manufacturers set the temperature of water heaters to 140 degrees, but you can lower the temperature to about 120 degrees, and that's about as low as you want to go, because any lower, you can risk bacteria growth. Now, most thermostats don't have dials to indicate the actual temperature, so you've got to do a little experimentation. Hey, Pete, I'll need your help on this.
All right, Megan, I'm going to take this thermometer and go to the furthest water faucet from the water heater. That's the best place to check the temperature of the hot water.
While Pete's taking the water temperature, I can show you one other way to help lower your energy cost. Wrap your water heater tank with insulation. You can see what it looks like. It's shiny and clean on the outside, and there's the insulation on the inside. Now, most new tanks will already be insulated, but if you have an older tank, you might want to do this. It could save you up to $40 per year and pay for itself in the same amount of time. Check with your local utility company because they may offer one of these insulating blankets at little to no cost. Otherwise, you can buy one at a local hardware store for about $20. All you have to do is measure and cut the blanket to fit. Tape it in place and mark where any controls and valves might be, and make sure you cut them out so you have access. You always want to keep the top of the heater open so you don't block any of the vents.
All right, so I'm going to get a read on the temperature of the hot water in one of the bathrooms the furthest from the hot water heater. Turn on the faucet, we'll get the water heated up. Once it is hot, I'll fill a bowl and insert the thermometer and wait for the reading. Once you have that, we can head back to the water heater. All right, Megan, the first reading was 138 degrees.
Great. Now you can mark the dial on the water heater and you'll know exactly what the current temperature setting is. And then lower the dial a bit, wait a couple of hours, and then take the temperature again.
Okay, Megan, the second time the temperature was 122 degrees.
All right, now you should have a good idea of what the temperature is on your water heater. So mark that second temperature again and then keep repeating the process until you've set it at the temperature you desire. But remember, don't go below 120 degrees.
Overall, a blanket and adjusting your temperature can save you from $50 to $75 a year in water heating costs.
But there's still more you can do to save money in water.
It's cutting back on your water usage.
The more hot water you use, the more energy your water heater has to use again to bring that cold water up to the right temperature.
That's why you should use a low-flow shower head. A lot of water is used every day when you take a shower.
That's right. The average shower head uses about 3 to 4 gallons of water per minute, while a low-flow shower head like this one uses only about 2 gallons. So you can save 10 to 20 gallons of water each time you take a 10-minute shower when you use a low-flow shower head.
That's saving a lot of water, a lot of energy as well. Another nifty little device is to install an adapter like this that cuts the flow of the water to a trickle when the water is hot. All you have to do is install it between the shower head and the pipe coming out of the wall.
There you go. How many times do we wait around for the shower to get hot enough? And with this little device, you can turn your shower on. Once it gets to the level that you want, it will just allow a trickle to come through. And then all you have to do in this particular model is push a little button and it'll take it back to the normal flow.
Yeah, and this one is very nifty. And some of you may have seen one that has a chain on it. We've showed that
Right.
before. But this one, when you tighten it down, just a button that you push right there.
Same concept.
All right, I'm going to tighten this down a little bit more, and then we could take a look at it. All right, so our water is heated up. It's at a trickle, let's see. And we're working.
Great, that's a wonderful tool. And these are some simple things you can do, but what about the water heater itself? If you're in the market for a new one, we'll take you shopping after this. When identifying the energy efficiency of a water heater, you should look at the A, EF value, B, EE value, or C, ER value.
Alliant Energy, we're on for you.
The answer is A, the EF, or energy factor. It's a measure of how much hot water is produced per unit of fuel. The higher the energy factor number, the more energy efficient the unit is. Welcome back to PowerHouse. We're here today at Ferguson Enterprises, and we're going to share some information that will make it easier for you to purchase a water heater if you're in the market. This is Trevor Jameson with Central Sales. We've got some questions for you. Let's start with the basics. For consumers, what types of water heaters are available today?
The tank type water heater, like the one behind you, also is a tankless. Heat pumps, solar are a few options as far as tank type.
Okay, let's go through each one. This one's a more traditional style. Explain the technology of this and how it works.
With a tank type, you're storing the water and it's burning. This one's got a blower on top, so it's how it's vented and how the water is ran through. The one behind you have is a tankless model, more efficient as far as the energy factor versus this one. Different venting and also different installations too.
Okay, so this one keeps my water hot. This one works kind of like a coffee maker, right?
Yeah, kind of like instantaneous.
Okay, and then you also mentioned a heat pump.
Yes.
Explain that technology and how that works.
Heat pumps are kind of like, it's a hybrid water heater. It's kind of similar to this one where it's got a tank on here, but it'll have a hybrid on top like a refrigerator, and it's actually pulling heat into the water heater and turning it into water. So they are more efficient, but it's using different technology versus a regular tank type and a tankless water heater.
Okay, and just to touch on the solar option, that's newer technology, right?
Newer technology, a different cost. So you probably see some people deter a little bit versus solar, but it is as another option out there that is pretty efficient too.
Okay. Well, I'm really interested in this tankless model here. I think that's pretty cool. And as you said, it's much more efficient. But how do I know which system is right for me and for my household?
A lot of it's going to be, you'll need to definitely size them correctly because, like you said, we have a standard tank water heater and we have the tankless. Each one has different installations. Sizing is different for tankless versus the regular traditional type. So you'll definitely need to know there's some questions that we go through, knowing like how many people you have in your house, your faucet count, washer and dishwasher, fuel type. This one's you can either come in 1/2 inch or 3/4 gas, so the fuel type's going to make a difference, and also how you're venting it too. So, and the cost of installations will be different too. If you're working with a local contractor too, a contractor will be asking some questions too, because certain applications, certain water heater types might work for them because of what they have currently in their house.
What other technology is out there to help us assess our needs as far as a water heater?
Speaking of that, a couple of technologies that we have is there's a lot of manufacturers out there that have either apps or websites that will help a homeowner select the water heater for them depending on different various sizes of questions. It could be checking with it, and it's a checklist. How many showers you take back to back, example. You have your tub, what fuel type you have, and then you plug that information in there and it'll tell you what hot water heater choices that you're looking for. And it'll give you your payback and tell you your energy cost.
That's really empowering for the consumer to kind of hit the showroom better equipped, I guess, for what their needs are.
Yeah, it gives them, when they come in there, it gives them some options that they have, and they can work with the salesperson and say, here's what I'm looking at, will these work, and also maybe talk about applications, what they have currently, and then they'll start selecting. The process get a little more narrowed.
Okay. On PowerHouse, we're always trying to encourage people to look for energy-saving equipment. How would I know which one saves more energy when I'm out shopping?
Different, like I said, different water heaters. Like on this one, we have a tag on the side that tells you your estimated energy cost. So each water heater will have all these listed on the sides. You can also go to the websites, applications. They also might have some literature that will tell you different energy factors. And also some water heaters will also have different Energy Star rated equipment too. So which might make a difference too for the utility equipment if they're looking for a rebate or additional cost savings out there.
Now, what does the energy factor mean? And do I want a higher number or a lower number?
You definitely want a higher number because that means it's more efficient. Also, with that being said, is some of these higher efficient water heaters might be a different cost factor too, because they have maybe some newer technology there too.
Okay. What else should we know when we're shopping for water heaters? Are there any other things?
The biggest thing is obviously knowing your fuel type, if it's gas or electric, because like I said, depending on where you live at, knowing that's correct, sizing it, and also making sure you have adequate room for it. And like I said, some of these water heaters will work or might not work depending on what they have their applications.
So in opting for some of these higher energy efficiency levels, what's the payback time for that?
Payback could actually be shorter depending on the water heater they pick out, and also depending on the technology there. We referenced heat pumps earlier. Heat pumps that could actually have a shorter payback because they are more efficient. Your standard tank water heater like this one, payback could be a little longer because the energy factor is a lot lower.
Great. This is fabulous information. Thank you, Trevor.
You're welcome.
If you'd like more details and information about purchasing a new water heater, visit our website at powerhousetv.com. The average U.S. household has a water heater that is A, 5 years old, B, 7 years old, C, 10 years old, or D, 12 years old.
Alliant Energy, we're on for you.
The answer is C. The average water heater in the U.S. is 10 years old. Since water heaters typically last 10 to 15 years, most people will be looking for a new water heater in the near future.
Welcome back to PowerHouse. A high-efficiency water heater is important, but there's some new technology that can help you save more energy and money. Here to tell us now about that is Rick Caruso. And Rick, what exactly is a wastewater heat recovery system?
Well, Pete, essentially what we're looking at is everybody has waste. Homes, businesses, hotels, and their biggest waste is hot water. They just paid to produce this hot water and they put it right down the drain, which is just like putting money down the drain. What we do is we recapture that energy and preheat new water with it.
Now, we're looking at what I call the main unit of this. Explain what we're seeing here, Rick.
Well, this is our model, the Green Fox, which is a drain water heat recovery or a gravity film exchange. Gravity film exchange simply is gravity going around, taking your water as it's going down the drain, clinging to the side and creating a film. Then it exchanges that heat energy to the outside coil, which is new fresh water coming in.
And again, as you mentioned, we've already heated that water that we're getting rid of, but you're utilizing that to bring up the temperature of that fresh, cold water that's coming in, right?
I'm capturing 50% of that energy that's being thrown down the drain. Yes, sir.
And we like that. Now, can this be used with any water heater system?
Absolutely. It's compatible with solar, electric, gas, and or tankless. So it's going to enhance those systems by giving warm water or pre-tempered water back into the system, even on a high usage basis.
Rick, you just mentioned about gravity. So with this system, you don't need additional power supply or anything else like that?
No, there's no working parts. You don't need a pump. This is all just going to be installed. We test it. Once it's tested, you're done.
Our viewers are always interested in new technology. What's it cost for a system like this to be put in?
The average cost is going to be under $1,000, and we recommend them for a family of 4 or more. The reason being is this. If you have 4 people, that's 4 showers to 8 showers a day, a dishwasher being run, laundry being run. So all that hot water makes sense for it to be put in. Less than that, it really doesn't pay for itself very quickly.
Okay, so for an electric water heater, what are we looking at?
Electric water heater, because the cost is higher, is going to be very quick. It's going to be somewhere around 2 years. Whereas gas, being more efficient and less expensive, it's going to be closer to 5 years.
What about impact on the water heater system?
Well, because this is always raising the temperature of incoming fresh water, taking it from that 40 to 55 degree and raising it at least 10 degrees, you're putting tempered water or warm water into your hot water tank. What that does is it's going to save you from condensation, which causes the rust and deterioration and breakdown of the system.
I like that. So again, some real positives there, right, Rick? I mean, in terms of the energy efficiency of our water heater, you're improving that. And then, so again, the condensation, so you're extending the life of that tank?
And the efficiency of it. When you think about a water tank, you're talking about minimum $800. And if you're able to get 3 to 5 years more life out of it, it's paid for itself very quickly.
Rick, let's talk about the installation of this system.
The installation is actually the best and simplest part of this whole process, because what we're doing very easily is we're going to take and cut part of this drain line out and replace it with our unit. We're going to use a copper to PVC fitting that we'll take and transfer, and then we're just going to run our cold water line into the bottom. And as that comes up, we're going to take that pre-temp water and send it back to your hot water tank. Very simple.
And again, taking that up how many degrees?
It's going to take it up a minimum of 10 just through agitation.
Okay.
But the delta, or the temperature rise that you'll normally see from drain water recovery, is going to be somewhere around 30 degrees.
Okay, and that's, again, we're saving energy because we don't have to heat that tank up more.
Exactly.
And that water is going to be at a warmer temperature to start.
And if you're in a basement and want to remodel, this can be enclosed inside the wall, so you don't have to see it after it's all done.
So a lot of, again, when we talk about green savings here, all the way around.
Green, economical savings, and common sense. Who wants to pay for something and throw it down the drain?
Well, Rick, we always like to share new technology, again, that can help save our viewers energy and money in your wallet. And if you'd like more information about a wastewater heat recovery system, go to our website at powerhousetv.com. How much energy do you lose to heat water that goes down the drain? A, 30 to 40%, B, 50 to 60%, or C, 80 to 90%.
Alliant Energy, we're on for you.
According to energy.gov, when you let hot water go down the drain, you are letting 80 to 90% of the energy used to heat the water go right down the drain with it.
Welcome back to PowerHouse. It's recommended that the installation of a water heater, especially if it's a natural gas unit, should be done by a professional. The professional joining us today is Rich Monk from Hanna Plumbing and Heating. And Rich, what are your main concerns when you're installing a water heater?
Just to make sure that the flue piping's installed correctly, it's venting uphill, and to make sure your gas line's installed correctly.
For those things that you're looking for, what are the dangers associated with them?
Well, if the gas line's not installed properly, you could have a gas leak, and that can cause problems. If the venting's not installed correctly, you could have carbon monoxide problems.
So this venting system is a really important element in the process.
Yes, you want everything to breathe right, so it's venting out.
I've heard of backdrafting before. Can you explain what that is and how the ventilation system works?
Yeah, the unit back in the day wasn't sealed off. This unit here is all sealed off, so it can't backdraft and have flames come out of the bottom now. So now what they did was they put holes on each side of the unit, so the air sucks in through the bottom of the unit and comes back up through the center. So one thing that you want to do for maintenance wise is just make sure these holes are cleaned off once every 6 months, or whenever you're in the room you think about it. Sometimes the dryer's in the same room and lint will get sucked over here. And if it's plugged up, it just doesn't burn very good. It's not as efficient as it should be if it's clean.
Okay, so this is something that's been implemented by the industry for safety's sake to prevent backdrafting.
Right.
Then. Now, this may be urban legend, I don't know, but I've heard of water heaters actually exploding. Can that happen?
Well, they do have this safety feature here. It's the P&T valve. If it builds up too much pressure or too much temperature, it's supposed to pop off and take care of that problem. But if this would ever get plugged up and not work properly, it's going to go somewhere. So it's either going to blow out of the top or it's going to blow the bottom out, and you're going to have water everywhere.
And you've seen that happen?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, that brings me to maintenance then. Is this the type of unit that we should have a professional look at, say, every year, just to make sure that nothing's going on there?
Yeah, it won't hurt. We can make sure the P&T's working properly. We can make sure the unit's cleaned out. We can take water out of the bottom.
How do you know that it's time to replace the unit? Are there any warning signs that homeowners should be aware of?
Well, usually when you start running out of hot water sooner than you're used to, you're not getting 2 showers in, you're only getting 1.5 in, something's going on. A lot of times the lime starts building up in the bottom of the unit, or it gets plugged up and it's just not burning as efficient as it should.
Great. Thanks, Rich. Good information.
Let's be honest, most people don't give their water heaters a lot of thought until it stops working.
That's true, but we learned some clever ways to lower our water heating costs today.
Like using wastewater to help reclaim heat can save you energy.
Or how simple things like low-flow shower heads or lowering the thermostat on your water heater can save money.
And saving energy, money, and water will help make your house a powerhouse.
Megan's Wardrobe, provided by Dress Barn.